just to spend time with you and to talk about this issue of telling our stories and how that is the one thing that really connects us all. That even though the particulars of our lives may be very different, and the stories that we have to share are very different, that somewhere in there there's some universal experience or understanding that once you share that, it bridges those superficial differences. And I thought we might talk a little bit, you and I, about how we worked together, getting your story to come out, and what it was like for you to go over things that were difficult and uncomfortable, and how we built the trust that made that possible. So what was it like for you? How did it become possible for you to tell your story, first to larger groups and then later to me?
That's how I started first, sharing my story to especially churches, small churches. I told in a speech I didn't finish that my dad was encouraged me to speak at the church first. He said, Arn, we're not going to allow you to die. So from that on, I didn't believe that American kid would want to listen. So I started at the church, small church in New Hampshire, where Robert Frost's house was in New Hampshire. Yeah. And then I start open my mouth, like, just say, my name is Arn Chorn-Pond. I remembered it by heart. And then there's a little girl, blonde hair, like you, blonde, she was about 11 years old. She came and hugged me very tight. They make the roll, and they said, you're so brave. And she said, I never want anybody to go through what you went through, especially our American kids. And she cried, and she said, I'm going home, I'm going to tell my mom, my dad that I love them. She gave me $1 to go to Cambodia. She didn't know that I resettled already in America. But from that day on, I knew that American kid really innocent, and that I look at her face, it's like, they starving for something that they don't know. They want to know. See, so I began to start speaking out a little bit, over the year while I tried to finish high school and colleges at the same time. Imagine that, and I still have nightmares, a lot. That's how I learned how to speak. And then when I began to speak, I knew that the audience really listened, especially these young kids, I began to feel the thing I say. After a while, this is after a long while that I did just what I did today. I began to cry for the very first time. It was like, you read it in the book. Very first time. And then I saw the children, American kid cried. And I said, there's something I don't know about them. There's a lot of things they don't know about me. And how do we cross that? There's a lot of things out there, in the real world. They have a lot of things to do, break dancing, hip hop. I like those too. Go to the club, I heard there are many things, they think it's reality, but all they were after each other was go to bed, a girlfriend, boyfriend, they fought, and mauling, they go to the mall, they want to go to the mall. There's so many things that in the middle of the real conversation that we said, then I think, how can we discuss about this? How can she try, or he try to know about my story? How can I try to know about theirs? I knew for sure that they had a lot of story to tell too. I have a white brother and sisters, adopted brother and sister, where my parents divorced. Also my dad, Peter Pond, divorced and then remarried. It hurts them so bad, and I felt that from my American brother and sisters. And I said, why don't you share this with me? I'm here, you listen to my story, why don't I listen to yours? It's all brother and sister. They were surprised that I offered that, and we became very close through that. So with my family and all these things over the years, but it's very difficult still for me. Just when I meet her, you probably don't know that I was introduced to three or four other writers everywhere, but I knew I didn't feel. I didn't tell you that, but I meet you in New York.
It's okay to tell me now.
I meet you in New York City, just half an hour we went, and I have no question about. I think the reason too also that you're a good listener also, and there was no question about it. So it's hard for me to trust very much. That's very difficult. And today I just want also to say that the reason why I broke down is probably because of that. That you guys, I feel like, oh my gosh, a lot of trust, a lot of listen. You guys listen, and that's what I need. I keep speaking around a lot to gang members. I work with them. I scream too sometimes to them, out of love. Not good for them to hear this. But, today was like I felt the love and being listened to. That's why I couldn't do it. I'd rather play the flute for you all day long, but speaking is still difficult, and it will be difficult for a long time to come. But I'm willing. I'm willing because of the young people we want to. We will not live to see what they will do, but, but I know if the right thing, that we have to speak the truth.
Will you talk a little bit about your first experiences with gang members? Because that's a pretty tough audience. And you've told me the story about how you had to sort of prove your toughness when you went to see them. Can you talk about what attracted you to them in the first place and how you were able to tell them your story and get them to tell you theirs?
Oh, there's a little boy, I call him a little Buddha and all that. He's half, half Hispanic, black, Cambodian sauce, And he said, why you want to help us for? I usually take him out to McDonald's.
This was in Providence, by the way, or Mole.
And many more. And I call him a little Buddha, but I think he shot later on, died. And he one of the boys, there's 1,000, but he said, why you want to help me for? What do you know about gun? I said, I know something about gun, and he asked me to go to his home, and there's a pile of his clothing, and under the pile there's it's called 69, and I tried to prove it that I can take it out and all these things. He knew that I was from Ivy League school, from Ivy League school, and go to private school and all that. I don't need to prove it to him, but just something inside of me just you don't know I know about guns. So something like this, whatever it is, it's a story that connects us, and just we have to find this, like today. It's also part of the story that we have to break the cycle that we can really talk to each other, not always talk about after each other to go to bed or go to discotheque or go to the mall or something like that, but to real talk. What's the real problem in our lives, you know what I mean? Yeah.
Can you talk also a little bit, and I'll add to this if you like.
I want to hear from them too.
About the role of the listener. What's important when you're sharing a story or when you're getting somebody to share their story? What is it that makes it successful that the listener does or that the person who's bearing witness does?
I mean, you guys here, you learn in school sometimes, Family is important too, but mostly you learn in school. You were put in schools and you were young, so you learn in school how you listening to. Usually we don't think about it. I don't think about it still. I don't think about anything about how to do this, how to do that, but you have to have it, which means I think we all have that. We all have it. I don't learn in school. I mean, in college, I went to Brown University, working with this game, you get with this kid, just look at them in the eye like you look at mine and say, I want to help. You just open yourself, maybe vulnerable, some of us say, feel like we don't do this. It's vulnerable, to open up. But all you can do is look at them in the eyes and say, I want to help. What can I help you? And you said, what can you help me? You're a college boy. Try me. But you have to also, after the story, it has to be time. You have to commit a lot of time. The drug dealers commit like 24 hours a day with those kids, day in and day out. They say, we love you, here, drugs, sell it for us. Nobody else in the community love you, but we love you, the drug dealer said. and they, it's here a drug for you to sell to us. If we don't have that much time as a drug dealer, they will take our children. We have to spend time. I spend a lot of time on the street day in and day out after my college work. And, sometimes to be crossfire. I got shot at. I got arrested by the police myself. I went to the mayor and said, please, I need a badge, man. I can't do this. I jumped by the kid. I got arrested by the police. And who am I? The same way I feel the same like I was put into by the Khmer Rouge when I was a little child to draw the fire. Thousands of kids were drawing the fire for they push into the front line and got shot by the Vietnamese. And when we don't have the order to take off, the Khmer Rouge would shoot us behind also. So the same thing happened with the police. They play cat and mouse, So we had kids now, hardcore gang members. Now I told the mayor, give me some money, man, and you show up on the street with me to see those kids cleaning the graffiti that I got them to do. And if the leaders show up, they feel happy, man. In fact, they love to see your limousine, and they love to get into your limousine. You come. He came a lot of time. And our kid loved to connect to him and talk to him about things, and got into limousine with him and all that. It has to be like that. You can't just, So we got a lot of money from him to do this, and where I work on the street of Providence, a lot of time also that you have to commit. Even with your own children, you have to have a lot of time. But with the street kid, there's no magic to that. Just your heart, even though it's vulnerable.
Just ask one more question, then maybe we'll open it up to the audience.
Yeah. There's some kids here, some young people here. I'd like to hear from them.
What does it feel like now that there's a book about your life? I mean, so much of your struggle has been about being heard, being seen, being understood with the history that you have. Now it's out in a, kind of a permanent thing. Do you feel validated in a way that Americans are paying attention to your story in a different way, especially that it's a book for young adults?
Yeah, you told me about it. You said that there will be more audience, and you don't have to talk a lot, more. Today it's proven I don't need to talk a lot more than I usually do. But you say that it will reach more audience and stuff like that. Now it's proven. I trust you in the beginning, but now it's proven that reach more audience. I mean, American kids, even some street kids, they read. You have in America a culture of reading, even though not many places in the world exist. They don't even have books for them to read. You know what I mean? So at least books are everywhere here. Even the street kid can pick up. Some street kid go to gang members. They go to the library and they read in the jail. I go there and play the flute for them in the jail and bring Buddhist monk there. They thought I was crazy. Chanting, take Buddhist monk there and play the flute. I got moved at a lot of time and all this. But you keep just at it. And then they turn around. Your love, you want to just give them, and they will turn around. They will bow down to that goodness. They will. And I never imagined that just speaking, playing the flute is so powerful. I've never imagined that in my life. Or someone will remind me just crying, just tears. So guns when. That's what I grew up with, and gamble and guns and all of that, and being macho. I thought that's the only way to do it, to go. That's power, but I never thought just standing up and willing to speak. It's hard. That's why a lot of people don't do. And I'm glad I chose this path, and softened my heart a little bit. I can be still vicious, and I can still afraid of this little wishes. I have not reconciled with that little boy yet. The boy that you've written about, he's still in my dreams. We have not reconciled. Now Mr. Arn Chorn-Pond with the speaking English with the necktie on and all that, but that little boy was still somewhere in the jungle, and I tried to, in my dream, I was trying to ask him to come, and hopefully we will hold hand or hug or whatever, because I'm a good hugger now. Yeah,
True.
yeah. I learn. I feel good too because people hug me. That's what I learned in this country from America. The American kid, good hug too. They good hug. My dad, you know. That's what I learned here, and that's all you can give. Sometimes you don't think about what you do very much, like one day to one day, but it has to be within us. We all have that. But why we change? I don't know. Maybe the mall, maybe, I don't know, too much money, too much going on. I mean, we have 700 channels of, maybe too much for all of us that we don't need, that our children don't need. Everywhere we step out of our school, of our house, there are 5 malls right in front of them. Nothing else they will see. They only see the mall, and then they go in there, and we blame them that they lie to us. They ask us for money, and they say, "We love you, Mommy." But no, the money that they love. So we should think about where we are leading our children. There's some problem in America too, but I don't just speak about it. I help to correct it because that's being Americans for. I work my butts off to get the passport. I didn't pass the exam for one time. They asked me who in the Mayflower and what year is the Mayflower, who's the first president. My God. And I passed it. And the passport is really, it's a fly out. It's an opportunity to go anywhere you wish to in the world with an American passport. And American kids sometimes, they born here and they didn't even know who was the first president of the United States. That's sad. And the issue of the black, slavery, the American Indians who were here first. Because I remember they said, go where you belong to. And now I say to them, who belong to where? You ask your parents where they come from. The first people who were here, who? American Indians. We have not talked about that. We have not talked the truth about that. And where are all American Indians? Where are they? So they need to learn this. How they are lucky now to be here, to have all the things they have now. Go back where you belong with music, with art, with love, with money from here. Money. There's a lot of money here. Do something productive, not only for yourself. You're mauling yourself to death. That's what I told them sometimes. I got pissed. I got angry. I got pissed.
Well, we'll open it up for your questions now, but one of the things that we have encountered when we go to schools is, and the kids will read the book, they'll say, I'm going to go home tonight and thank my parents for the life I have. I'm going to be kinder to the other kids in my school. So you are making a difference. All right, what questions do you have for us?
I was just wondering, is the book published in Cambodia? Because you do so much work over there. Is it going to be brought one day, do you think, over there? Or is it already?
It's already there in the capital anyway. Capital, there's one bookstore. They already got there. I don't know, you talk to them?
But that's the English version, but we got a grant from the U.S. Embassy in Phnom Penh to translate it into Khmer and to also pay for the first 1,000 copies, and which we hope to distribute free in the schools. And it will be the first time that a survivor narrative will be available in the schools, so it will be revolutionary.
And I will be talking in the countryside now. My heart is now in the playing music, and we'll talk about book, but still Khmer Rouge around in the countryside. They didn't go anywhere yet. So talking about the book would be something I have to feel how I feel it, but playing music is good. They didn't kill one boy, so how I get back to them. See, their children gonna dance and hip-hopping, and that's how I get back.
Arn has a plan to take a magical music bus around the countryside to play music, including in the parts of the country that are still controlled by the Khmer Rouge. And that's a radical act. They're people who have not heard live music in their lives. And you put these kids together with rappers, together with people with traditional instruments.
It's fun. Hey, I can't help it. I'm Cambodian American. I have to introduce I have to, it's the truth. Whether you like it or not. I bring hip-hop boys from Lowell, some of them from Lowell who connect for the first time to their life, their parents' life in back their own country. Many of you should be doing that. I promised myself to go back, and I've done. Some of the kids or some of the people who promised themselves too, now they like it here. I don't blame them, Big screen TV, they work hard, they make money, a lot of money now. And I don't blame them not to go back, but they promised to themselves that's their problem to solve it. I just focus on myself. I promise to go back, I go back and help over there, two of my countries, Yeah.
I very much appreciate to hear what your thoughts are about forgiveness, considering what you've been through.
Difficult. To tell you the truth, I'm not sure now who I am angry with. I couldn't find the face, a particular face to get angry or to forgive or to, I couldn't. I see so many faces, and especially I love, let's say I can't love everybody, or let's say not love, like care about everybody, but you just say like you care now. I learn how to care about humanity now. That's enough for me, and whatever humanity have done bad to individuals, it's humanity. It's not an individual or individual Khmer Rouge that I really feel like I can forgive. Or as long as I don't forget about what had happened and keep sharing that story and hope people will learn from that to do good things in their own lives, that's all. And this book, I wish also that other survivors from different like Rwanda, Iraq, Iran, they will be here. They will end up in America. American kids has to prepare what really happened in different places around the world. That's who we are as Americans. We have to be responsible in knowing a lot of places in the world. That's who we are. And they will come here and sit near you in the school. And what you're going to do about it? And they want to know about you, but they have a hard time more than you guys are. You guys now learn how to speak, and Joe, man, this, that, They will be quiet. And you look, when they are quiet, they sit near to you. You should reach out. You guys should reach out to them and say, what's up, what's wrong? That's a nice thing to do. And can I help you? That's a nice thing to do. It's hard topic for me, but that's all I can say.
Can I interject just for a second?
Yeah.
I think the person that you had the hardest time forgiving was yourself.
I never thought about that. Maybe.
And you were a child, you were innocent, you were
Yeah.
manipulated, and I think once you came to understand that, you were able to forgive yourself.
One thing, I did not tell her many things that proven that I have not forgiven myself, which is that you found out this from the ex-Khmer Rouge, from Mao, whose name Sambo in that book, that I've done a lot of good things during the bad time, and he watched it, and it could cost my life. And I thought always when I came to America, I never want to say anything that, I want anything that I've done good. I never forgive myself because I only concentrate I was forced to do bad things, and I never knew that I did a lot of good things, and maybe I rejected that. That's why she said I never forget. I thought I was a bad kid. I came here, the Khmer Rouge forced me to do this, and I must be an evil guy. Nobody will forgive me, and even my dad and the school, and So I hide that. That's a kind of not forgive myself. So I need to now from the book, I read that section, I feel good about it, But,
what Arn is referring to is he would tell me the things that he had to do to survive, but very rarely did he brag about the things he did that were brave or generous or altruistic. And so when I went to Cambodia and interviewed other survivors, other witnesses, they're the ones who told me, he stole food for me, he lied for me, he kept me alive, that you had blotted out the good stuff.
Can you talk at all about how the telling of your story
Just today, I will be well. I will be, like regroup myself for many months to come today. And thank you for listening today. I'm sorry I couldn't finish my speech, and she had to help me out. That's good. But I think I'm going to be feeling good for a long time to come and ready to go to high school and colleges with this book. I have 2 more speeches before I go back to Cambodia. But March, I will come back to, we'll be on ABC and stuff like that. So people, because of her, people are paying attention. ABC, maybe Nightline, I don't know. We'll
It's
see
you, not me.
movies, and so I don't know. People, so I don't, that's, you go deal with them.
See, he's
And-
giving me the credit.
You deal with them, you deal with them. But I think the sharing story is the second time I said that saved my life. I never thought that would be healing me or power for people to listen, really, to just speak English. It's a core of your body, like playing music. You rather die if you cannot sing, you cannot play music. That's what the Khmer Rouge want to shut it off. They take over all of a sudden. Like imagine this, if they come to America, all of a sudden they say, Britney Spears, you come here. Backstreet Boy here. And boom, 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 they kill all of them. Imagine that. And the whole country is silent. And the speaking is I think, the core of how you build relationship with one another, very core. And if you don't have that, then I think our children would go different way, They just go shop and they don't speak about anything. They just keep asking you for money until they die. Yeah.
I have 2 questions. When you go back, is it hard, is it risky to face Khmer people now, Khmer Rouge? The other question is, how do you handle when either you feel that, you said tiger earlier, that anger, vicious side, or if you feel sad or overwhelmed, how do you handle that?
Did people hear the question? The question, if I can paraphrase it, is is it still dangerous to go back to Cambodia, especially to Khmer Rouge territories, and tell your story? And the second is, what do you do when you get that feeling welling up in you? Again, that thing that you described as having the tiger in your heart, being aware of that vicious part. I think that Arn has said before, in each of us is the Buddha, and in each of us is Pol Pot. So how do you deal with when that comes up? So maybe start with, what's it like? Is there danger or difficulty for you?
Still a danger, and they don't talk about it. They don't say, I'm going to shoot you, man. They don't say it. They just do it. So yes, a tremendous amount of danger there, and I like, because I know what I will die for. And if we have that commitment in our lives, I think we are good. We are good in our humanity if we know what we are die for, what we're willing to die for. And then we take every opportunity while we are living to help others. I think, so I'm free this way. I'm happier, I'm freer this way to be expressing myself even in the middle of that dangers. I mean, I've died 1,000 times already. To go back to do all these things, it's just bring happiness to me. And to also teach the gang members from Lowell to go back, and one of them are now hosting the first reality show on TV in Phnom Penh, in the capital. Incredible. And the kids are like, oh, is that from America? America still ring a bell there. Yes, I'm Cambodian American, yes, it is American. It's nice that we can talk about this. They don't talk, they are quiet, they are reserved. So there's a danger to that like I did, holding on to it, like bottlenecks, you're holding on to it. And today I've been holding it until today. I've been holding it long. So I was, again, very good in sharing the story and cry. I take that as important in my life. So thank you for today again, listening to me. And talking about also with the Khmer Rouge. Right now, even in the capital, many other issues facing girls. The little girls are prostituting themselves. 12-year-old kid, 10-year-old kid being kidnapped, and I work with those kids trying to get them out of the street now, playing music instead. I think that's more dignified than anything else. The other side was just the other side of the coin. They get all the money from the girl prostituting themselves, the police. They think they're doing the right thing. It's a business, as usual. So I meet some of them, I eat with them, I talk with them. Sometimes I want to, they're just the other side of the coin, for us, from us, like the Buddha and the Pol Pot. They think they do the right thing to get all the money from the girls. And it's incredible, and I face them all the time. I meet them, and I feel sad, number one, but I feel also humanity. I don't have their face, individual face, to hate them, which is, I'm very free from that now too. But I can feel they're touching my other side, the tiger out of me, I could be like them. Definitely, I've done that before, back and forth. But the love that my dad, you, a few other people in my life here in America, and that stronger, even when it's small amount of time, shorter time, stronger than any evil act. I know right away when someone do something bad, or I felt it right away. That's something, and people ask, how do you know that? How do you know that? How do you know that? I don't know, I just feel it. And they're at awe about this. We all have all of that. When we feel the danger, when we feel our sister is in pain, we lost all of that. We should bring it back. We should bring it back. We're in a real dangerous situation now. I see kids mauling all the time. It scares me.
There's a question.
What years were you a young man in Cambodia?
75 to 79. I was 11, 12. I would just get out of the temple. And like I described to you, all of a sudden the Khmer Rouge came in. I even cheered them. But all of a sudden they called all the people, they got people out of the country, to the countryside, and they start just killing, not with bullets.
So, if I may, so for several years, even after the United States left Vietnam, that the Khmer Rouge were still, terrorizing?
Yeah, when American soldiers left Vietnam, so the Viet Cong took over Vietnam. The Khmer Rouge at the very same time took over Cambodia. Some American soldiers were in Cambodia against international law because American are bombing 500,000 tons of bomb, B-52, dropped in that country, in that small country against international law. I learned this later on. I was there while I was there and still seeing the crater now in Cambodia. So that's 75 to 79, they closed. The Vietnamese, they didn't go through that. The Khmer Rouge came and closed the door, Cambodian country, and then they said, you look white, you have scar in your eye because you were in school, huh? You wear glasses, you were in school, you pro-American, huh? You like Americans. This is where you're going to go and where you belong, in America. They hit them, they killed them. And my family, of course, members, they own an opera company. So anything that has to do with anything like doctor, teacher, opera owner, and all that, you pro-America. I've never seen American in my life. And I never thought that 25 years later I have an American father and come to America. And I couldn't believe many years later in high school, I hear the same thing. Go back where you belong. Where do I go? So I heard from the Khmer Rouge and I heard from the American kids in high school. I couldn't believe that. There's some words, something that I remembered. And so why are we calling each other name? It hurts. It hurts.
You've obviously been on a very clear healing path. Like life has really healed it for you in so many ways. It seems like you were gifted a beautiful father to really love you. When did it become unconscious to you that you were on that healing path, that you began to let the healing come in? Because we can be on the path, and but if we don't let it in, then we might not be conscious of it. So when do you think that you started to let all of the healing come through to bring you to where you
But it will take time. Will take time. I was suicidal early year and run away from home and all this, but I think it will a long journey. I knew that. I had a feeling. I knew that, and this is one of the big things today. And I will continue to do that. I think I don't know when. You know, some people have ability to heal themselves more quickly, but in different way too. They probably don't have to do what I do. I don't ask to, but I'm probably compared to many other survivors. I met many of them from Rwanda, from Iraq, through my work. They are not in my path. They don't want to talk about. They don't want. Why are you doing that? You know, one other thing is they like me when in the beginning when I felt like American wouldn't give a shit about what happened to you. They only worry about shopping and worry about, you know, dropping bomb at someone country. That's what they say. They got so angry. You know what I mean? I encourage them to speak because these American young people will have the resources, will have the money, they want to help, they care, but they need to know the story. If you don't give the story, they don't have anything to care about. And some people don't know how to do it, they don't want. I respect them, but they don't want. But I think the journey, for me, I'm prepared. I can cry now. I'm proud of myself. I can cry now alone. While I'm driving the car in Cambodia on my way to play music, I cry, and I don't have to ask questions about that. I just let my tear flow. That's probably part of healing, I think. All I know is I feel good, and all I'm proud of is that it means that your heart open. Is that what it means? I don't know. Is that what it means? Your heart open, you feel for something that you are. The Khmer Rouge, like she said, you care, they feel that you care, they shoot you. They hit you in the back of the axe. I was close to that thousands of times. And I learned how to do it very well, that's why I'm here. Many kids could not. They cry and they got hit in the back of the head by the Khmer Rouge. I think I did that very well, and that's why I survive until today. And I don't need to do this more in America. I die here. I die here. My soul will die here. So a long process and crying. You know, I think it's a sharing story, and then you start feeling it, and you have to cry. There's no other way. It's like computer, for example. You know, you store a lot of bad things, you store a lot of things, you have to give it all out. Sometimes you have to clean it. I think it's worked the same way with human being, I think. So I'm willing to do more crying, and I'm not ashamed to do it. All of us need to not ashamed to do it. Need not. Our children need to see that. We are not perfect. We are not perfect. Yeah.
I know it's hard for me to bring this up, but have you ever considered that the Khmer Rouge who have done these atrocities are also victims?
I think my life is probably both of that myself. I'm not sure whether the country itself that live there understand all these things, you know what I mean? There is a trial now going on in Cambodia. Yes. They evict one of the men, and he was not even in the high echelon of the Khmer Rouge leader, but there are four, the gang of four, we call it. The gang of four were not tried yet. They're in the military. Now they run out of money. It's been 10 years, but at least something there for the Cambodian people. Because the the Chinese are behind the Khmer Rouge, and they have a lot of power, even in Southeast Asia and the world. So American was like behind the Chinese, whether the decision or not, decision to do the trial, but they had the money to try, and they build there's not a truth reconciliation like in South Africa. There's nothing like this, and even that would be in the next step. He wrote a blurb, right? Archbishop Desmond Tutu. I worked with him in South Africa with the apartheid issue. I was there demonstrating and worked with him, and that's why he wrote the blurb in my book. he had even had a hard time to have the victims, come forward. Many of them come forward, and the whites are still not coming forward to say, I've done this and I'm sorry, or, it's not all my fault. They didn't come. So he was sad now still, the truth reconciliation. Cambodia, they don't have anything like that, but there's a trial. That's why the book is important. I told the embassy, I said, I'm willing. I will probably be the only one to start doing this, and I'm willing to do it. There's an amount of danger in that. If I go to speak in the countryside, but if I speak in a suburban area with the young people there, many of them from the countryside also, about the book, they will translate it into Khmer, into my language, and we got money because I told them that I'd be willing to talk about this book and about my experience to the young people so that they can learn and connect the dot, and that they will try to not make it happen again in the future of Cambodia or anywhere in the world. So I hope that will work.
I'm going to brag about Arn again. And I've asked this question a lot about why not share those stories and have the perpetrators and the victims come together so that people can see that both sides were both perpetrators and victims in many cases. Arn is very unusual in that not only is he unusual as a Cambodian man who is willing to tell his story, most people keep their stories bottled up. But I think generally in the landscape of truth and reconciliation and survivor narratives, people are more comfortable talking about the things that were done to them, the ways in which they were victimized, and not as comfortable, obviously, talking about the things that they had to do to survive. And Arn is very unusual in that he's unsparing of himself and talks about both pieces without holding back. I think that when I've asked other Cambodians about why this hasn't happened in their country, they will say that people have done things that they're so ashamed of that they cannot talk about them, and that the country is so happy to have stability, so happy to be moving forward economically, that they really don't want to revisit the past. The current prime minister, who's been in office for 20-some years, he's former Khmer Rouge, and his statement is, let's dig a hole and bury the past. So if that's your leader, the average person isn't going to really have the opportunity or the willingness to come forward. And I guess the last thing I would say is there's a character in the book that kind of answers your question in a way. There was a young man, he was about 17 years old at the time, 15, 17. He saw the Americans dropping bombs in the eastern part of the country. He lost his parents, he lost his family. He joined the Khmer Rouge because it was 3 square meals a day and a little bit of prestige and a uniform. And the next thing he knew, he was enforcing this madness, and he didn't want any part of it. He didn't like it. And he was very kind to you, saved your life many times over, but also did terrible things to survive. And he basically said, if I don't, they'll kill me. So it's really a complex situation.
When you were in the line, like you said you were in the line and you went out to the jungle, when you were a kid and you were in the line, did you doubt going outside in the jungle, and how was it like in the jungle?
I in the war, I witnessed a lot of kids who, we don't usually talk like you talk in school, like with friends, but we clean guns and we sit with each other, look at each other in the face so we know that who's our friend, who's not, always come nearby each other, and some blown their head off by just cleaning the gun. They don't know how to do it. And and in the next battle, you expect whether me or someone else that you are close to become friend get shot, viciously. I decided to run away into the jungle. Jungle in Cambodia, as you know, is like, Tarzan, like Tarzan go there. But I wasn't Tarzan. I was like really had malaria and a lot of leeches that suck your blood, white leeches that glow in the dark. And they're attracted to you because your warm body, they come. And after a while, you just don't have the strength to, to take them out. And they suck your blood. I could even die just from that. I'm not sure how I survived there either, but it's a risk to be out in. But the problem is that many times I hold my friends, and I think the feelings that I go crazy, that It's not the feeling, the fact that I see them die, my sister or the friends that, I hold. The fact is that you feel helpless, you feel powerless to do anything to stop the dying. That's why the feeling is really, I never ever want to feel that in my life again, even here or wherever, feel powerless and helpless. So I decided to go into the jungle and following monkeys, really. The fruits, wherever, in the jungle there's a lot of, you don't want to be near the tiger or the boar. I was really small. I might not have any clothing with me, I had the gun, though. But when you get up in the morning, you can see, if you get up in the morning, you saw a lot of monkeys all over the jungle. They're noisy. Many of them, sometimes 20 of them, sometimes 30, many of them as big as you. They're leaders, but they're small one. I shared a story that I killed a little one. I killed a little one. If the group knew that I grabbed that little one and sit on it so they wouldn't see me doing that, they would have jumped on me and killed me. But they didn't see. And one time I saw them bathing the little baby. It's in the book. I saw the little baby with the mommy. They put the bathing in one hand. They hold the baby just like human being. I observed. I felt. I never in my life felt any hold. I've been held by anyone. So I just watch how lucky that little baby is. And in fact, I killed the little ones too, because I need to eat, I need to survive. And also when they go onto the big tree, they jerk around the tree, they jump around, and mostly when the fruit fall into the ground, you just pick it up. But pick and I can eat it without poison me. One time I picked a little fruit it looks just like apples. I just picked it. I'm not sure what the fruit was. I ate it, and I just realized that inside, it was really nice, that inside consists of little maggots, little small yellow, green maggots out of that, because the maggots consists of that fruit. And after I eat it, I throw up, but more coming, the next day, my lip was swollen and get poison. I have to watch out what I really picked and ate there. And there's a lot of things, the snake and everything. Oh, well, a lot. And I'm not sure how I survived there. Yeah.
Do either of you have wisdom to share, offer about any of us who want to share our stories about a process or way to organize the sharing, the release of our stories?
You want me to start?
Yeah, try.
I think that, what I can talk about is the role of the listener, I guess, first. And that is, obviously you want to choose a really trusted listener, but if you are the listener, hopefully it's a back and forth kind of thing, that it's your job, as Arn would say, to sit and listen and look the person in the eye and show that no matter how bad it is, you can hear that story and you can hear it without judgment. So I think that would be the first thing. And then I think some of the things that came through for us when we were working together is sometimes I would cry, because when you're taking in such pain, it's inhuman to try to keep a scrim up and say, I'm just going to take notes and it's all okay. And I think that helped to create a feeling of trust, or that Arn wasn't going into this deep, scary territory by himself. So I think it's okay to be yourself and express your feelings. I think the other thing as far as being a good listener is that it's respectful to, what's the right verb here? I guess challenge the person from time to time. It's not just about listening and holding the space. To go back and say, no, wait, I'm a little confused. Are you talking about when you were a little boy or something like that? That if you give the person a total free pass, it's not as respectful as being a really good partner in pulling the story apart. So that's what I can talk about from the listener's point of view.
I think anybody can do that. I mean, you guys can do that to your little sister, little brother, who gets sick or hurt from things. You can do that to your parent, your own parent. If you offer, they would be surprised, What bother you, Mom? I'm a good listener. I can listen to you. You've listened to me all years, all your life, right? I can listen to you a bit. What hurt you, mommy? Not only ask for money, right? The same thing a husband can do to a wife can do to a husband, and everybody could do to each other, like what you just said. You know, anybody, I think. I'm learning too. I'm learning how to do that, to listen to, you know, prostitute who's on the street and say, what's really bothering you? Can I help? You know what I mean? So if you don't forgive yourself, you don't heal yourself, you don't sleep well and all that, you're not going to help anybody else, right? True. So I have to forgive myself that I am okay when I have love. Whether I'm gay, whether I'm a soldier, a child soldier, whether I'm a killer, I can change anytime I want. I am in control of myself, I forgive myself, and I'm okay when I start to give my love to any time you want to, brother. Anytime you want to give love, we will take it. You know, the world will be lucky when you say, you know, I did this in the past and I never showed love to my family before. Anytime you want to open it, we will be really happy the humanity will be a better place if you're ready to do that. All of us. I think you all do. I know you all do, but you know, we need just to help each other, especially young people there. Don't shop too much because you're gonna be lost. You don't know who you are. You're gonna be lost. Trust me. They got bored, they go to shop again. Yeah.
Can I, before you start,
Okay.
I just want to say there's a woman here who has a booth, and is she here, Trebi? Creating radical joy in a time of sadness or something like that, but she has a very specific process for how to go through dealing with past wounds, and it's a 4-step process, and how on the end you're supposed to make something beautiful, some piece of artwork or something to create joy and beauty as a sort of capstone to having told your story. Okay, sorry.
Did the Khmer Rouge take the kids who were in poverty, or was it like more of a diverse?
Could everybody hear the question? Did the Khmer Rouge take a diverse group of people? Did they kill poor children, or did they take a diverse group?
Right? Is that you ask? Everyone, everybody who showed that your parent connected to America, the West. They were communist group, right? We compare to now what we call a terrorist. So it's more ideology than anything else. They were communists, now they were terrorists, because communists now almost, how they can say communists anymore, like China, right? They have buy and sell. They have engineers, doctors. How can they say they're communists anymore? You know, it's just human being trying to argue to be right and wrong. I'm right, you wrong. My religion is right, your religion is wrong. You don't believe in my God, I kill you. That would be a shame when if Jesus heard that, or if Muhammad heard that, if Buddha heard that, they would say, don't use my name. I don't ask you to kill each other because you don't believe in me. I believe.
True.
I don't use my name. I ask you to do is to love each other, to turn your another cheek. You know what it means? You know, I heard George Bush also say, you know, God was on our side, bless America, you know, God bless America. I heard Saddam Hussein say the same thing, Allah is in his side, and God, Allah bless Iraq. Pol Pot said the same thing, Buddha is in my side. You know, they play game with religion too, and they kill in the name of religion. That's sad. Please stop trying to be right and wrong. I'm right, you wrong. We all together. Let's forgive that. Don't do that. So I have no pride anymore now. I know I'm wrong. I'm sorry. Politicians need to all of that. A lot of them politicians, a lot of pride. A lot of football players, they need to learn how to be like that. You know, all out to win, to beat other people up. You know. And now when now teaching our children now what happened, we rewarded our children junior high school to apply for being a soldier, being an army, help your country, and we give you everything you want. Okay? Should reward the artists too. Where are the artists in the community? Where are the engineers? Where are the, you know? So where we talk and we put our money in. So what are we promoting? So that it's sad, you know. And also now a dirty job, like there's some coach now, I don't say anything, but some coach now even give his own money to pay for a kid to beat the other kids up. If you can injure the other team, what are we doing to our children? In our country here, in America. We have a lot of work to do. A lot of work. Yeah.
I was lucky enough to meet Thich Nhat Hanh a couple of times. I've had retreats, and you remind me so much of him.
Thank you.
And Iyengar said, I don't teach you, I love you. The love will teach you. And I feel I've learned so much from you already this morning just from that you do demonstrate your capacity to love. What about Buddhism, or what about, I saw pictures of you with the monks, and you mentioned the monk training. Has that influenced you in what way?
I was a temple boy, right, a year before Pol Pot. I served the Buddhist monk. I didn't have a good time there either. When I was a little boy, I was gamble. They asked me not to gamble. I was a good gambler. I go out and beat a lot of taxi driver with the money. We put the money on the ground. So I was beaten up by the big monks, and I didn't have the good experience. I also had a little fight with the other monks that's my own age, you know. So, but I'm not that religious myself. I'm not that religious, but I think there's a lot of stuff we learn from the. I go to the temple now, and I go to churches wherever I go to just be quiet and thanks my dad, and thanks people who who helped me over the years. So I go to temple, to synagogue, I travel all over the world. I don't, you know. Sometimes the temple can be anywhere. My workplace with the kids can be my temple. I just stop for a minute and just close my eye, hug the kids, and you know, it's all in your head, in your heart. And that Buddhist monk, I brought those three guys. Their name's Siaja. They are from Lowell, Massachusetts. You can see they wear. The one side is hip hop. They used to do a lot of violence rap. That's how they started. You know, that's how it started, from the jail. Those kids were put in jail, came back, wrote raps, and all against, I killed the police, gold teeth, I want $1 million, my car, and all that. So they rap that. They can rap about peace. They can rap about love. They can rap about environment. They can rap. Kids all over the world now fixed to them. So I introduced those three guys to the monks. They rap for the monk. The monk chant for them. The monk chants, you know, and the monk explained, those young monks, and they break down in the middle of the temple for the monk to see. And the monks sit down and quiet and chant for them, and they explain what is this means. It's almost the same thing. The chanting from thousands of years ago and the rapping in America in the street of Lowell. You connect them together, you build this friendship, and I make sure I'm in the middle so they don't fight. They would not fight. They would not fight. They just show each other through the art. You see, they show a little bit through the art. Never happened before. No on TV. Nobody writes in it. Somebody took that picture. I don't know who took it. I took that picture while I was doing that. And that's what we want to create in our world. You can do this anywhere, in high school, at your home, everywhere. You can do it. Just create it. Yeah.
How can we find out about your busload of wonderment coming from your country?
The Season of Cambodia?
Yeah.
The website is called seasonofcambodia.org. It's
.com.
Season of Cambodia,
Wow.
and it's going to be in April.
Yeah, it's been on the plan.
2013.
It's been on the plan for 2 or 3 years now, and people respond. We've got the Commission of New York, because the first I shared a story, just very short, and she said, "Wow, it's not your music, Arn." She said, "It's a story, how America and Cambodia connect." I heard about Cambodia so long. She was close to the mayor, and she's very strong. She's a commissioner of all the culture that come to New York. She said, "Arn, how many people around the world want to have their arts in New York City, in 42nd Street, in Broadway, right?" I said, "I don't know," but she said, "Well, it's happening." And she took me to Ford Foundation, Rockefeller Foundation. I thought it was $1 million to bring 125 artists from all traditional different art forms from the countryside. Never dream of. This has never happened before for Cambodia and maybe for America too. And I want to carpet it, New York City with all the artists. That's how I got back. That's how I got back to my country here. And it happened between April and May in many big venues in New York City. It's going to be, Cambodian art's going to be talked for a long time, and, not bombing. So our relationship will be talked between America and Cambodia, will be talked for a long generation to come about art and peace. Why not, right? It's now, I thought it was $1 million, but now it's like $2.5 million. And we raised about 75% of the money already. Ford Foundation, Rockefeller Foundation. Maybe we hope to have the king and the prime minister to come with the mayor, and New York hosted it. Hey, who knows? Yeah, who knows? Small musician at the time, small village at the time. My heart is more having a music bus where I can stop and eat and play with those masters, can drink and eat and play for the Khmer Rouge in the countryside. I will do both. I will do both.